Good evening, everyone. Today is the 21st of May. If you are joining us from Asia, good evening. If you're joining us from Europe, good afternoon. And if you're joining us from the United States, good morning. This call is usually geared towards the Southeast Asia market, including Singapore, Vietnam, Malaysia, the Philippines, Indonesia, and any other, and Thailand, if there are any other countries that I've left out. I'm so sorry, but I think that's from what I can see of the participants today. We have people on from all of those countries. I want to make sure that everyone feels welcome on the call. We're going to be talking about a little bit of the regional specials, but I think the information that you're going to hear today is pertinent no matter where you are. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. Oops. Okay, here we go. So we're talking about essential emotions. And the question you need to ask yourself is, are you ready to feel good more often? Are you ready to feel good more often? So I think sometimes we go throughout our day kind of feeling a little bit blah, depending on what the weather is or maybe circumstances in our lives. And we really can adjust or begin to feel better all the time. And I know that the medical industry says that we need to take antidepressants or other sorts of medications that can equalize our moods, but there is a natural alternative, and that is use of essential oils. doTERRA essential oils have been specifically blended to support your mood, and we're going to talk a lot about that. And we're also going to talk about how the gut or the health of the gut can affect what it is that you're feeling. So let's get started. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, are you ready to feel good more often? And many of us feel good on a daily basis. In general, I personally tend to be a fairly positive person. I wake up most mornings feeling fairly peppy and in a good mood. But even I have my moments where I feel down or I feel a little bit overwhelmed. And I love the fact that I have something right at my fingertips that I can use at any time. So you are created to function as a whole, and you can see here the body, the mind, and the spirit. You want to be able to nourish each combination of those, whether it's body, spirit, or body, mind, and that's what creates your wellness, your sense of wellness. And here again is our wellness pyramid. We see that wellness pyramid over and over again in doTERRA literature when they talk about eating right and exercising and keeping the body and the mind feeling healthy. Your body is made of intelligent cells designed to continually restore health. So you want to think that, yes, it is possible to restore your health, to restore equilibrium and a sense of positivity. You don't have to feel bad. It's not a permanent thing, but we want to make sure that you know exactly the steps that you can take to be able to support yourself. So your emotions and your body. Emotions are information carrying molecules that bind to and react with cell receptors. So emotions are, you want to think of them just as molecules. We don't have to think of them as overwhelming. We think of them as molecules, and molecules can be changed. Then essential oils are an easy way for us to elicit change in the body. So let's talk about what we call, or what doTERRA is calling, the three brains. That science reveals there are complex neural processing functions in the mind, the heart, and the gut. And this is something that I've talked about a little bit in earlier presentations, that we really do have sensing organs throughout our body, and that even in places like our knees or our feet, we can begin to feel better by applying essential oils. It's not just about pain management, that sometimes we can shine a light, if you will, on a dark place in any part of our body and begin to feel a little bit better. So number one is the heart, or intuition, and that more neural pathways run from the heart to the brain than from the brain to the heart. Isn't that an interesting thing? So that feeling of, yes, our intuition, we either feel bad or we feel good, kind of deep down in the center of our chest, it is a real thing. You're not imagining it. There is heart intuition. Then we also have our mind, which is our logic and our intellect. The subconscious mind directs over 90% of behavior. We do fall into patterns, whether they're positive or negative, and we can affect those patterns by beginning to use essential oils. But patterns or habits are something that we can change and alter over time, and good habits obviously are going to affect us in a positive way. And finally, the gut, or our gut feeling. 90% of the body's serotonin and other feel-good chemicals are produced in the gut. So we want to make sure that we are maintaining a healthy gut, and we're going to talk about that also. So emotions in your body. The connection between your body is that if we can connect the three brains, the heart, the mind, and the gut, then we begin to feel good. So the heart, the mind, and the brain connected, and we feel good. So your emotions and your body. If your body's in good balance, we're working on that wellness pyramid, we begin to feel healthy and whole. And you can see this lady on the left-hand side here has beautiful yellow rays kind of radiating out. She's like the sun herself. And Dr. Candace Pert, a neuroscientist and pharmacologist, says that feelings are really chemicals that can help or hurt. So let's talk a little bit about your emotions and your beliefs. So sometimes we get into like a crazy loop, if you will. We start thinking a certain thing or acting a certain way, and before we know it, we have this kind of downward spiral. And we can change it to go the other way, but let's look first at what happens to us sometimes. So maybe we have a life experience. So here's a mom, and she's holding a baby, and the baby's crying. She's got some squiggly lines coming out of her head. Maybe she has a headache. She's not getting the greatest news, I think, on that cell phone that she's holding on to, and her dog is barking and pulling at her dress. So it doesn't look like she's happy. Whatever's happening to her is not necessarily a great thing. I think she would probably feel a little bit happier if she at least put down the cell phone, but that remains to be seen. In the second question, in the second picture, we see that she's processing what has just happened to her. She says to herself, her mind says, I have to figure this out. So that's maybe the information that she just received. Or maybe she's figuring out how to deal with a brand new baby. That can also be a big struggle. I know as a brand new mom, I was terrible with new babies, and I really needed someone to help me figure it out. But until I did, and until I got help, I felt terrible and inadequate. Then she begins to feel, I'm overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed, and I'm not surprised. And then finally, I'm stuck. And stuck can mean a couple of different things. It can begin to affect her, and you see where each one of these things begin to affect her. So the I have to figure it out is the brain. I feel overwhelmed is that heart, the center, that sinking feeling in the center of the chest. And I'm stuck is down in the intestines, the digestive system. What's the reaction? She begins to have head tension. She has perhaps conflicted feelings and an unsettled stomach. And an unsettled stomach can mean different things to different people. It can mean something severe like vomiting or diarrhea, but it can also just mean feelings of congestion or constipation. It can mean sort of that gurgly noise that we hear sometimes in our stomach when we're feeling upset or anxious. And then finally, these three things, first the life experience, then the processing, and finally the reaction, begin to grow a belief. She's watering a belief in her head that says, I am not good enough. But I want you to look at the belief and the little plant that's growing for you. Those of you who are gardeners, you know that this is a dandelion. And what is a dandelion? It's a weed. We don't cultivate dandelions because they tend to crowd out all the good plants that we need and want to cultivate in our gardens. So as a gardener myself, I would try to rip out that dandelion and make sure it didn't come back. But here she is watering that dandelion. Oh my goodness. So what do we need? What do I need to weed out? So when we weed something, we need to pluck it out of at the roots so that it doesn't grow back again. And essential oils are a way to do that. So essential oils support healthy emotions. Essential oils can support healthy cell function. They can anchor healthy biochemistry, and they can promote physical and emotional detox. So if you're feeling sad, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're starting your day and you're literally thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? And everyone's chasing me and I don't know what to do. And I have a million responsibilities and I'm behind on my work. You can begin to relax, with essential oils. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get up and then go back to sleep. But what it does mean is that you're going to feel better about yourself and your day and your surroundings. And you're going to be able to take small steps every day to complete the things that you need to do. For those of us who work in doTERRA full time, we know that each and every day we have to self-motivate. We want to get out there. We want to talk to people. We want to enroll people and engage and share. And having essential oils that help us to do this and to maintain a positive attitude are just what we need. Okay, but I want you to choose carefully. So the grade of essential oil that you use will determine its chemistry, potency, and efficacy. And there are 4 primary grades. The first, as you can see on the right, are synthetics, and these are toxic chemical fragrances. In general, these are fragrances that are used for scenting things like washing powders or perfumes, sometimes soaps or candles. It is the largest sector of the market. If you were to go to the supermarket and you were to see a product that said, now with essential oils, it would probably be a synthetic. That having been said, it's not the type of thing you want to try to ingest, and it probably will not affect your mood in a positive way. It may actually affect your mood in a negative way. Second large sector of the market are food or cooking food grade essential oils, which are used as cooking extracts, and flavorings. So we see things like chewing gums or toothpaste or other food flavorings. That's where that green pie sector are. These are definitely edible, but they are not therapeutic grade. So they're going to give your food taste, but they're not going to give you any physical, mental, or emotional benefit. The next grade, which is the skinny purple slice, are your therapeutic or self-proclaimed therapeutic grade essential oils. And this is an unregulated standard. It can have compromised quality and does have marginal health benefits, but they may not be consistent health benefits. And then that tiny little skinny orange slice are certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils, and that's what the essential oils of doTERRA are. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about CPTG in case you're not familiar with this term or what it means and what it means for us for emotional essential oils. So CPTG are plants that are extracted from essential oils that are extracted from plants harvested in their natural habitat. And on the left, you can see a world map and how all of the essential oils, or many of the essential oils, are identified here as coming from different regions of the world. Everything from Australia on the lower right to the United States on the upper left, South America, lower left, and then places in Europe and Asia, and really all over the world, we're getting essential oils now. We use stringent in-house and third-party testing to ensure purity, and our essential oils are verified pure and filler-free, so nothing is added and nothing is taken away. They are also tested for things like heavy metals and pesticides, things that you would never want in a product that you're taking on a daily basis. So did you know that 1 drop of oil equals millions of molecules? And these chemical compounds service every cell of the body in a matter of minutes. Essential oils are dynamic, supplying targeted support for your healthy body as well as your emotions. And on the right-hand side is something that many of you have seen before. It's a peppermint leaf with a magnified peppermint oil sac. What I love about this particular diagram is that if you were to rub a peppermint oil leaf between your fingers, you would actually be squeezing those sacs, and that's what would release the scent into the air. And most plants have something similar, whether it's peppermint or a rose or other plant material. That's the type of thing where the sacs are contained within the leaf. So we use essential oils to shift mood in 3 different ways when we're talking about emotions. The first one is automatically. The smell is the fastest way to affect mood. Aromatic molecules have direct access to the limbic area or emotional seat of the brain, and these can affect our mood in many different ways, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed or you have occasional head or muscle tension. This is a terrific way to start to use essential oils. Diffusing them in your space on a daily basis can really change the way you do business or the way you interact with your colleagues at work. I keep a diffuser in my office, and every time I'm in my office, I have it running. I usually use a powerful one, perhaps that directly sprays essential oils into the air. I might use a water-based diffuser like the one shown here, or even a small tabletop model that just uses a felt piece of felt inside that can be saturated with essential oils. Whatever diffuser you're using, they're all good. But the idea is diffuse, diffuse, diffuse. Okay, let's talk about using essential oils topically. You want to apply them on the back of the neck, across the forehead or the bottoms of the feet. You can apply them over the heart area, the insides of the wrists, or in the fleshy pockets behind the ears. And finally, you can apply them over the stomach area or bottoms of the feet. And this goes back to the idea of the three brains. So we're talking about the logic and the intellect in the brain, the heart or the intuition, and then finally the gut feeling. This is also a terrific way to affect us if we're experiencing grief. And grief is one of those emotions that comes in waves, whether it's the loss of a person or a pet, a beloved pet, or a friend, or a situation that's causing us grief. It may be moving away from a beloved home, or another way of mourning. It's important for us to go through the process of grief and mourning and allow ourselves to mourn, but using essential oils as a support. And the last way we want to use essential oils to balance our emotions are internally. So CPTG oils are labeled for dietary use and can be taken under the tongue, in water, or in a gel cap to support overall health. And we want to balance our chemical reactions by using essential oils internally. I think of essential oils internally, using them for vulnerability. So are you going for an interview? Are you approaching someone new to work with in doTERRA? Are you giving a class? Are you standing at a booth? Are you a student? My son actually today is being interviewed for a new program, a leadership program that they're having in his school. And he was super nervous this morning. And it's actually, he's 16, and it's his first interview ever. He's never been interviewed for anything, at least not that he can remember. I think when he was in 8th grade, he might have been interviewed for the high school that he is currently attending. But that idea that it's something fairly foreign to him, hasn't done it a lot in the past, he's feeling very nervous, so we made sure to put essential oils on his feet this morning. He didn't want to put anything too flowery on because he's 16 and a boy, and he said, "Mom, I don't want to use that. I'm going to smell too flowery." But even things as easy as peppermint or peppermint beadlet can be a great way to kind of uplift mood and help you to feel a little bit better and more powerful. Okay, so let's talk about how will I nourish myself, right? So we talked about the brain, the heart, and now let's talk a little bit about the gut. We need to nourish ourselves properly to be able to have good gut health. Part of some feelings of overwhelm can actually be as a result of poor nutrition, not enough water intake. So we want to make sure that we're increasing our water intake, increasing our exercise and movement. Many studies have shown that exercise actually is one of the quickest ways to affect mood and to help you have a sustained feeling of uplifting mood. When you go into your house and sit in a dark corner, you're more likely to feel quiet and dark. And we want to make sure that you're getting out there. It's hard, folks. I understand. If you're feeling sad, maybe you don't want to get out, but try to force yourself, even for 10 minutes. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Park your car a little bit further away from where you need to go. Take the MRT stop one stop less so that you can walk to your final destination. As long as the weather's good, try to get outside and breathe fresh air. Go to a park if you live in a city. Whatever you can do to be out in nature is good for you. You can also rest and meditate. Important for you to get enough sleep. When we don't get enough sleep, it absolutely affects our mood. As you know, I've been struggling with jet lag. I think it's finally over now. I'm not sure, but I think it's finally over. But my mood was not so good. I was actually kind of grumpy. And I tend not to be grumpy in general, but I get grumpy when I'm tired. And so jet lag is no different from any kind of other mood. It makes us behave in ways that maybe we wouldn't ordinarily like to do. And the last thing we want to do is improve our diet. If you're eating a lot of processed foods or foods on the run, fast foods, maybe foods in restaurants that you're not exactly sure how they're prepared, consider making a home-cooked meal or eating a salad or even a piece of fresh fruit. Something that's fresh and unprocessed will help you to really begin to ingest some healthy nutrition for yourself, your mind, and your body. I wanted to show you, first of all, the new packaging for the emotional aromatherapy system. This is the packaging of the small bottles that are terrific for diffusing and applying. But we also, of course, have the emotional aromatherapy touch kit that comes in pre-measured, pre-mixed roll-on bottles that are pre-mixed with fractionated coconut oil. And I'll show that photograph a little bit later. Let's look a little bit at the emotional aromatherapy wheel. So if you are having a difficult day, I want you to have this wheel available. You can upload this to your phone. You can Google it online. It's really all over the place if you look up emotional aromatherapy wheel. So let's look at, we're looking at the center of the wheel. That's the purple slices of the pie, if you will. And let's talk about my son, for example. Let's say he's feeling anxious. That's in the upper left-hand corner, about 10 o'clock on a clock. And he's not really sure what should he do. He's maybe fearful or maybe worried about what type of, what's going to happen in the interview. He could consider using Peace, which is a reassuring blend. And he also could consider using Console. Maybe he's not quite as sad as Console. Maybe he's not feeling hurt or grieving. But maybe he's feeling a little bit, let's go to the upper right-hand corner. About the 2 o'clock on a clock. Maybe he's feeling distressed, or maybe he's feeling a little bit gloomy or discouraged. He might try Motivate or Cheer. And I will tell you, I like to think of these oils as morning and night. So morning, Motivate, Cheer, and Passion. So that's our encouraging blend, our uplifting blend, and our inspiring blend. And in the evening, Forgive, Console, and Peace. You want to finish your day, release any bad emotions, and get to bed and be able to sleep. So I like these blends, and I like the fact that before the 6 o'clock hour, you see the Motivate, Cheer, and Passion, and then after the 6 o'clock, maybe the 6 or 8 p.m., you're seeing Forgive, Console, and Peace. So take a look at this wheel when you have some more time and be able to identify the new emotions that you have. Here's the other thing. There are no rights or wrongs. So if you're not sure, if you're distressed or if you're bored, it doesn't matter. Just get the essential oils on you. Begin to diffuse them, begin to smell them, and you'll absolutely begin to feel uplifted and renewed. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about each one. So as we talked about before, Motivate was at the top of our wheel, a blend of peppermint, clementine, coriander, basil, yuzu, melissa, rosemary, and vanilla. It has a clean, fresh, minty, sort of a citrus and minty, if you will, together, promoting feelings of confidence, courage, and belief, and can counteract negative emotions of doubt, pessimism, and cynicism. It can be used aromatically and topically, and that's true of all of the essential oils in the emotional aromatherapy kit. So I won't repeat it each time, but just so you know, aromatic and topical. You can apply to a shirt collar before giving a speech to instill feelings of confidence. Cheer. wild orange, clove, star anise, lemon myrtle, nutmeg, vanilla, ginger, cinnamon, and Zavet's herb, which I'm not sure what that is, but I guess I'll figure it out a little bit later, promoting feelings of optimism, cheerfulness, and happiness, and can counteract negative emotions of feeling down, blue, or low. You want to apply this to a cotton ball or terracotta plate and place in your car to experience doTERRA's cheery, energizing aroma while driving. For those of you who are not drivers, you might consider putting it in your office or carrying it in a briefcase or a purse or on a tissue or a handkerchief just to cheer you up and keep you elevated during the day. Passion. With cardamom, cinnamon, ginger, clove, sandalwood, jasmine, and vanilla and damiana leaf. It has a fresh, spicy, warm aroma. It can ignite feelings of passion, excitement, and joy. And we can think of passion in two different ways. We can think of course, passion in terms of love and passion that we have for another person, someone that we care about deeply. We can also think about passion for our work or something that we're trying to accomplish, that we feel that we're really engaged and actively thinking about that thing and feeling completely engulfed in whatever it is, the project that we're doing. It is called the inspiring blend, and you can try diffusing it at work to spark creativity, clarity, and wonder. I like that one. I think maybe I'll diffuse that today. I have a lot of projects that I need to be working on today, Monday. doTERRA Console Blend, frankincense, patchouli, ylang-ylang, labdanum, amyris, sandalwood, rose, and osmanthus. Has a sweet, musky floral aroma, and promotes feelings of comfort and hope, counteracts negative emotions of grief, sadness, and hopelessness. And you can apply 1 to 2 drops to a shirt collar or scarf and smell throughout the day to ward off feelings of grief and sadness. I like this blend in the evening, as I mentioned, unless you have recently undergone some sort of a trauma. It's great at the end of the day to kind of release whatever it is that was bothering you during the day. I'm done with my day and I'm going to rest, and then I'm going to start again fresh tomorrow. doTERRA Forgive, spruce leaf, bergamot, juniper, myrrh, arborvitae, nootka, thyme, and citronella with an herbaceous, fresh, woody smell, promotes feelings of contentment, relief, and patience, and counteracts negative emotions of anger and guilt. And during the convention in September of 2017, one of the speakers talked a lot about how the Forgive blend was actually one of the most effective, and if you had to choose any of the 6, this was the one that you should basically carry with you all the time. That it is the renewing blend and has a lot of wonderful characteristics that can help us throughout the day and in the evening as we kind of wrap up our day and begin to wind down. So Forgive on hand to counteract negative emotions that may arise from undesirable situations. And finally, peace. I like to think of peace as one of the great blends for sleeping, with vetiver, lavender, ylang-ylang, frankincense, clary sage, marjoram, labdanum, and spearmint. It has a sweet, rich, minty aroma. It can promote feelings of reassurance and contentment and counteract anxious and fearful emotions. You want to use peace to calm an upset or restless child and apply to the bottoms of the feet. So I like peace really for anyone, but peace absolutely is a wonderful blend to be using on children. I would use probably any of these in a diffuser in a child's room. As you know, if you're working with very small children, you can always put on the diffuser in their room with the door closed an hour before bed, and then shut off the diffuser, leaving the door closed while they're sleeping in there. For older children or adults, you can keep the diffuser going all night if you wish. And it also a blend that you can put in any type of diffuser, whether it's a cold air or a water-based or one of the diffusers with a small piece of fabric inside. Okay, here's a photograph of the Touch collection. I have to say, I love the Touch collection. I give it away as gifts. I carry it with me all the time. It is a terrific way for us to be able to use the oils on the go. The blends tend to be a little bit bold, if you will. And if you want something a little more mild, the Aroma Touch collection can be just the thing for you. I want to talk briefly about how we repair and heal and maintain our gut so that it protects our emotions. And then I want to talk about a special that we have. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about why we want to maintain our gut, right? We want to nourish ourselves. We want to give ourselves foundational support, add daily support with minerals, micronutrients, and healthy fats. Essential oils also in these blends enhance absorption of nutrition on a cellular level. So we talk about our alpha CRS, which supports healthy inflammatory response, cellular immune function, mental clarity, and healthy brain function, and supports cellular energy by supporting healthy mitochondria and supplying metabolic factors of energy production. Our food nutrient complex Microplex, VMZ, fights free radicals with antioxidants A, C, and E, supports healthy metabolism and cellular energy, supports healthy digestion, and provides 22 essential vitamins and minerals to support normal growth and functioning and maintenance of cells. And finally, XC Omega, our essential oil omega complex, promotes healthy skin, healthy joint function and comfort, and cardiovascular function. And for those of you who don't know, the brain is made up of more than 75% fat. I think it's 80% if I'm not mistaken, the exact percentage. So we want to add healthy fats into our diet. Now, it's not as if we ingest the fats and they go right to our brain. It doesn't work that way. But the more healthy fats that we have in our diet, the more likely our body is able to produce the fats that it needs to maintain healthy functioning, especially of the brain. In studies done by Harvard University, they actually administered 10 grams of fish oil to patients that were feeling feelings of depression and anxiety with very good positive results. 10 grams is actually a lot of XC Omega, but I would consider you're taking your full dose. Even if you're not taking a full dose of the other two, take a full dose of XC Omega every single day, especially if you are having difficulties with emotions or depression. The other thing we want to do to maintain our healthy gut is to provide probiotics. Our PB Assist promotes a positive balance and proliferation of beneficial bacteria. It supports healthy functioning of the digestive and immune systems and health of the GI tract, particularly the intestines and the colon. Other studies have shown that people who take probiotics tend to have better mood function in general. For whatever reason, our gut is the source of some of our distress, and by adding in positive, healthy probiotic cultures, and we can encourage friendly bacterial growth, which supports our immune system and also our mental and emotional health. And finally, if you are having difficulty and these are not working for you, consider doing a cleanse. Cleansing our system on a periodic basis, whether it's once a year or twice a year, can be just the right thing to get rid of some of the toxins and other buildups that we may have in our intestinal tract. GX Assist combines essential oils and caprylic acid that work together to support a healthy digestive tract. When we use GX Assist, we usually use it for a limited time only, about 10 days. But if you're looking for a natural way to cleanse, the proprietary blend of CPTG certified pure therapeutic and oils and caprylic acid will support your digestive system. You want to take 1 to 3 soft gels with meals for 10 days and then basically leave it in your cabinet or just finish the bottle until you're ready to do that type of a cleanse again. Terrazyme, let's not forget Terrazyme. Part of the cleanse is Terrazyme, but Terrazyme should also and can also be taken on a daily basis. So Terrazyme is our enzyme support, which contains 8 whole food enzymes that are often deficient in cooked, processed, and preservative-laden foods. And unfortunately, even if we're eating fresh foods, many of our foods do not contain sufficient enzymes to help to assist with digestion. We've got enzymes that we have in foods, and then we have the enzymes that our body can produce. As we pass the age of about 30 or 35, the enzymes that we produce, that our body produces, actually begin to shrink. And so we want to make sure that we're adding additional enzymes in the form of a supplementing, so that we can see healthy digestion and metabolic processes. Enzymes will help the conversion of food nutrients to cellular energy. They can help promote gastrointestinal comfort and food tolerance. And they can also provide important mineral cofactors for systemic enzymic activity. Okay, let's talk about our specials. So Mother's Day just passed, and now Father's Day is coming up. And I texted a few of you to ask if this special is available in Singapore or not, and I didn't hear back. So I'm going to rely on all my trusty people. We have 93 participants today, which is really amazing. Let's talk about what the specials are and who we want to support with this special. So a dad can be someone we look up to, no matter how tall we grow. Our first superhero, doTERRA has put together a superhero kit for all the amazing dads out there. In this kit, we have oils to soothe his tired muscles, keep his Superman hair in place, and maintain his overall health and wellness. I want to think also, when you think about dad, let's think about people that have been like a dad to us. So whether it's an uncle or a grandfather, or perhaps a stepfather, or someone who's taken care of us, even a beloved teacher can be someone who is like a dad to us. And we want to support and honor men and dads, especially in the month of June. For the superhero dad, the set includes peppermint, petitgrain, rosemary, myrrh, and juniper berry, with a free men's toiletry bag. It is available only from May 16th to June 30th, and limited sets available on a first come, first served basis. And we're going to talk about what some of the conditions are and why these oils are good for our superhero dad. So we want to say, I love you, Dad, whether you are honoring someone who is your own dad, or maybe someone who's been like a father to you. So here's what the wonderful kit looks like. That's the men's DOP kit, if you will, on the side. The price is $178 RMB, and the wholesale price. Hold on, retail price $78. 540 with 100 PV. Okay, this looks like it's backwards, but I'm sure you've all seen this before. Oh, I'm sorry, 718 is the retail price. You're saving 178. I misread that. I'm sorry, folks. And that the price is actually 540 with 100 PV. Okay, I'm finally getting this right. This is your Happy Father's Day kit with 5 essential oils in it. And a little DOP kit, a great way to celebrate dad. So why do we have these particular oils in there for dad? So to fuel up dad, we have peppermint, which is one of the oldest and most highly regarded herbs. And peppermint can be a staple in every household, really. It can inspire a sense of concentration, enliven the senses, and promote feelings of energy and staying attentive. If dad is trying to cut back on caffeine, this would be a great one for my husband. He drinks far too much coffee. This would be a great natural way to keep dad's energy levels consistent. For your smart dad, Rosemary's Herbaceous and Energizing Set is frequently used in aromatherapy. It's versatile and can be used for healthy looking hair, a relaxing massage, healthy meals, and a lot more. It's also known to stimulate a clear mind and mental sharpness, something that we all need, but especially dads when they're dealing with crazy kids or crazy wives like me. So we want to make sure that smart dad has a lot of rosemary around. Also, restful dad, right? Widely used in the perfume industry. Petitgrain oil smells fresh, floral, and a hint of richness like orange. I don't actually think it smells like grapefruit, folks. I've never really thought of it smelling like orange. In fact, it smells to me like grapefruit on steroids. Or for my friends in the Philippines who recently took me to Davao, it smells like pomelo. And I don't know if petitgrain is not actually a pomelo, but that's what it smells like, a little bit like the peel of the pomelo to me. And petitgrain essential oil is helpful in creating a calm, relaxed environment to promote feelings of relaxation. And you can place a few drops on a pillow and combine it with lavender, terrific for sleep. Wellness Dad, myrrh essential oil. Myrrh is one of those oils that sometimes is underrated. People don't choose it of its own. They think, myrrh, what is that for? So now you're going to know. So it's terrific to cleanse the mouth and the throat. So for those of you who have ever done oil pulling, you can consider adding a drop of myrrh to your oil pulling routine. So that's take a tablespoon of coconut oil or maybe olive oil, virgin olive oil, and swish it between your teeth with a drop of myrrh oil in it. You're going to do this for between 5 and 10 minutes, or as long as you can stand it. If you can only stand it for a minute, that's okay too. Do not swallow. You want to spit all of this out, because what happens is as you swish the oil through your teeth, you actually pull out toxins and other harmful bacteria that can be lodged between your teeth. It's a wonderful way to refresh your mouth and also your whole biology, because oil pulling really affects our entire body. So consider using myrrh if you're doing oil pulling. Myrrh is also extremely soothing to the skin and can be used on a daily basis when shaving. And it can keep skin calm and diminish the irritation of razor bumps. It's great for, it sort of has a smoky, dry aroma and is very grounding and balances emotions. Helpful also when we're talking about stress. And then Fitness Dad. So one of juniper berry's main, we have juniper berry, one of juniper berry's main chemical constituents is alpha-pinene, which exhibits anti-inflammatory activity with the ability to relax, calm, and relieve tension of the muscles, and help Dad to enrich his skin with the best of essential oils. Combine juniper berry with fractionated coconut oil for soothing relief of tired muscles. And I would add in here, but maybe not, and it's not here, I would add in Slim and Sassy. And I'll tell you why, because dads have a big job to do every day, as much or more sometimes as moms. And recently we've been kind of a little bit down on dads, and that's not a good thing. A great dad can be really a powerful thing. I feel actually extremely lucky to be married to a wonderful man who is a wonderful dad to my children. And I feel really honored and enriched by having been able to share my life with him for so many years. On May 18th, just a couple of days ago, we actually celebrated 29 years of knowing each other. That was the anniversary of the day we met. And it's really wonderful to be able to celebrate somebody who's been such a great partner, and to just celebrate with them and to live a life of just honor and who's created and formed a beautiful family life. So one more thing that I might add here, in addition to some of the essential oils for emotional health, might be Slim and Sassy. If you've got a dad, or maybe a deep blue rub, if you've got a dad who is a sports loving dad, so a fitness dad, you could add either Slim and Sassy or deep blue rub to this combination, because I think even that, and you can pack them all up and put them in the little pouch, and I think Dad would be super happy. So I'm going to actually stop the share here. Oops, here we go. There we go. I am back. And then we're going to draw our winners for today. I want to say thank you to everyone. I know we had 92 callers, which is really amazing for a topic on emotional health. And I hope a lot of you will be listening to this online in the 2 places where it's going to be posted. So let me pick our winners, and then I'm going to answer questions. So our 2 winners for today. And actually, our winners today are going to win that last oil that I mentioned. They're going to win actually the Slim and Sassy. So whether you're a mom or a dad and you want to keep healthy, Slim and Sassy is a great way to do this. And the 2 winners of our Slim and Sassy today will be, hold on. Our first winner is, oops. Okay, our two winners are Ding Cho Lee and Nicole Tan. Ding Cho Lee and Nicole Tan, you are the winners of a Slim and Sassy. I'm actually going to stop our recording for now, and then I'm going to answer some questions.